Hi, today I want to talk to you about gardening seeds for beginners. Where to find them, which ones to buy, and when to start them. Welcome back, this is Kayla with 5 Canadian Acres. One of the first things we're going to need to buy when planting our garden are seeds, the things we want to grow. First question is where to find them. Well, there are multiple sources to find them. One of the most popular places to find seeds is through a seed company, whether through online store or their catalog. These are, in my opinion, one of my favorite places to buy seeds because there is a huge selection of varieties you've never even heard of. If you're feeling overwhelmed with the vast majority of seed companies there are now, one tip is to try to find something local or close to your area or climate and buy seeds from them, because then chances are they'll carry a lot of seeds that are good for your area and garden. Another place to find seeds is at a garden center or greenhouse. Again, you'll find quite a good selection in these places. The only problem is sometimes they're not open year-round, so you'll have to wait until they open in the spring to buy your seeds, which could pose a problem if they're not open when you need to start your seeds. Another place to buy seeds is just at your local big box or grocery store. This is really convenient because if you're picking up groceries or things, then you can just grab a few seeds while you're there. You won't find as big of a selection, but there's still quite a bit, and the prices are generally pretty reasonable. Also, if you check your local dollar stores, a lot of time they will carry seeds as well. And these seeds, like any other seeds, will grow and will grow well. I have grown them before, and they're the same as ones you'd buy. You can spend, usually the packs are 3 for $1, and I've spent $3 on one pack of seeds. Sometimes you don't get as many seeds, but really you don't need that many anyway. A few other options to find seeds that you may not have thought of would be from your own produce. If you buy a tomato at the grocery store, you can grow those seeds. You're very limited in the selection, and you also don't know any of the information about how to grow it or how long it takes. But if that's all you have, you can grow food. Also, another thing is called a seed swap. You can find these in the spring in your local area or even on some online groups. And there, if you have excess of one type of seed, then you can swap them for other things, and it's a really good place to find some of the seeds you might like. As well, if you have a family or friend that is an avid gardener, I guarantee you they have plenty of seeds. For example, all my seeds. And I'd be more than willing to share some seeds with people wanting to start their garden. Just a quick note about the different types of seeds. A lot of people are worried about GMO. You should not be worried about that. Those seeds are not sold in these stores. They are strictly regulated, and you will generally not find GMO seeds selling to the public. Then we have heirloom and hybrids. Heirlooms are seeds that have been around for 50 plus years, so they are tried and true, and these are really good seeds to buy. But don't be afraid of buying hybrid seeds. A hybrid seed is simply one crossed with another, so like you're breeding dogs. So what they do is they breed good quality plants to other plants with good qualities in order to try to breed a very good quality plant. For example, some peppers now have a shorter growing season, so I'm able to grow them in my area. Some of these hybrids are really sought after, so don't be afraid of hybrids. Now I'd like to talk to you about what seeds you should be buying. This is a huge category, and again, it's very personal to what you're doing, but I'll give you a few tips that might help you decide what you would like to grow. Two of the main factors are to know your growing season. Check out my previous video, I talked about frost dates. So when you know your first frost date and your last frost date, you have your growing season, your length of days. So this will help you decide what things you can grow in your climate. The other thing to know is your garden space. How much space do you have to actually garden, and whether it's shaded or sunny. Some things do better in the shade. You can grow lots of things in the shade. So if you know what you have, then you can buy things according to what your garden is. My first tip is to buy what you like to eat. Think about what you buy at the grocery store and what you're making for dinners. For example, we love green beans. So last year I grew a whole bunch of green beans so that I could have them frozen for over the winter when we needed them. But if your family doesn't like green beans, then don't grow green beans. If you don't like tomatoes, don't grow 100 tomato plants. I'm speaking from experience. I did that last year. I'm trying to like them. I'm working my way up, but maybe this year I'm only going to plant about 10 or 15. Another tip is to grow what you can't buy in the grocery store or something that's more expensive. That's the great thing. If you like tomatoes, grow tomatoes, but when you get the seeds, you can grow purple tomatoes, green tomatoes, striped tomatoes. Play around with the variety, still growing the food that you like to eat. My third tip would be to consider the space you have. If you have a small garden, then you're going to be thinking more just about growing things that you can eat out of the garden while they're fresh. If you have larger space, then you can look at planting more of a certain crop in order to have enough to preserve things. For example, pumpkins, if you have a small garden, it's hard to grow because it takes a lot of space up for a few pumpkins. When you can go in the fall and buy cheap pumpkins at the store and save that space for other things that would be better suited for you. Another thing is to know when to start your seeds. First thing you need to learn is what plants like to be transplanted, where you can start them early and then move them into the garden later, and what plants like to be directly sown or put right into the ground. Most root vegetables like to be direct in the ground, so you don't need to start carrots and stuff early. Squashes, pumpkins, cucumbers, they don't like to have their roots disturbed, so you can start them a little bit early, but not too early. Whereas tomatoes, peppers, you want to start these 6, 8, 10 weeks out, even if you have the indoor space, before you transplant them. So you know your first average frost date, and then you can count backwards from that to know what days you'll be starting. So if you're in a zone 6 or something, you may be starting them early March. I'm in zone 3, 4, I'll be starting mine later in March. What I actually do is I have this awesome Christmas gift, Farmer's Almanac. I counted my last frost date, and what I do, I have April here. So I have written on the Saturdays, I just did the Saturday, 6 weeks before, 4 weeks before, and then I just go and I look at what seeds I need to start 6 weeks, and I write them there, and then I kind of have a general idea. I hope this helped with your seed shopping. If you have any more questions, leave them below, and pretty soon we'll be ready to start those seeds. See you later, bye.